Today's a great turnout, you know, fantastic. The passion is still there, the passion for civil liberty, the passion for our rights, and the passion to live. You know, we don't want to live as sheep, we don't want to live as slaves. That's why, you know, every soldier that worked with the fought in the war, the Falklands War, we all fought for an ideal, and that was freedom. We didn't fight for a police state. No one needs a police state. It's no way to live.
And have you seen the Global Veterans Alliance is being formed of veterans?
Yes, it's fantastic news. Fantastic news. I mean, if we don't protect our people, who does? That's the thing. You know, as Oliver Cromwell said, the army is the heart and soul of the people, and our people need to be protected. Our people are vulnerable. Our people are defenceless. We all saw how brutal the police were last year. You know, and no one wants to see women clubbed over the head like that. It's brutal. No soldier would do that. You know, women and kids are precious, and at the moment this government wants to give kids this. The consequences are, I won't even go into it, but it's just tragic. It's a tragedy waiting to happen. And the children are innocent, the children are impressionable, they've got no choice in the matter. And this is what, they know that, and the reason, so it's outrageous that it's going to fly. And in my opinion, it's already reached a criminal standard. This is criminality, what's happening. We don't deserve to do it. We're English, and whatever Priti Patel might want and Neil Basu, we don't want it. You know, they can just get rid of free speech just like that. I mean, one law after another from this Tory government, the Investigatory Powers Act, the Digital Economies Bill, one after the other, taking away our liberties, chipping away at our liberties. And we have to put up a fight. We've got no choice but to fight, basically. You know. So, thanks. I hope, wish you well and everything.
Are they even laws?
Well, this is it. They're not really. A lot of it is just advisory. You know, the laws, and when you look at common law, etc. No, they're not even laws, because there shouldn't be a mandate for liberty. I mean, the legislation basically was a law unto itself, wasn't it, last year, the coronavirus legislation? But I think what's happening at the moment is Johnson may be looking at other countries as the model, Israel, I mean Australia, and he's thinking, oh, and he's lost two big majorities recently, so he knows he's unpopular, but because he's a psychopath, he usually doesn't really care. Psychopaths don't care, there's no remorse at all, but he nevertheless will carry on because he can't do anything but. The damage he's caused is unprecedented, and to show how insane the man is, once people, he then says, oh, the doesn't work, but the lockdowns do. And then he also says, this is a man who's done more damage to this country than the Luftwaffe did in the entirety of World War II. He said that we're going to have a summer that's different, but incomparably better. I mean, that is a sign of clinical insanity. With Johnson, you've only got to look at him to see that he's mad. But it's what he's doing. You do not want a madman in charge. You want someone who's sober. You want someone who's accountable, and he's accountable for his actions. But if you look where we were a year ago, you know, the pro-civil liberties marches are continuing, and rightfully so. And the worst part of a war, I think, is always at the start. You know, at the start of the Falklands War, no one knew where he was going to be. We were outnumbered. But you know what? We carried on trucking, and we have legality and right on our side. I think that's what's most important.
And do you want to talk a little bit about your service history?
I was in the British Army in 1981 to 1984 during the Falklands War. The Falklands broke out in May in '82. We were all very apprehensive. A lot of us never even knew where the Falklands were, the island Malvinas, and we had to make wills. And the convoy going down to Southampton was huge. It was like, the atmosphere was electric, totally electric. But I think a lot of guys, the Falklands, the Argentinians, a lot of them were kids, and they were up against the professional army, you know. So no war is nice. I'm not proud of it. But I wasn't part of a combatant regiment. Some of my friends were. My friend Jason, he was only 17. He was the youngest para-killed, and we're doing it for them. I mean, we used to discuss politics. It's very noisy here. And every soldier I know wants liberty. They call for liberty above all. But next year is the 40th anniversary of the Falklands War, and I don't think a lot of people even know what it is. I think they refer to it as the forgotten war now. Falklands War. It's essential just to keep on, keep it sounding like this. This is therapy for a lot of people. more and more people I know now are becoming. There was a doctor I used to work with who died the other day, very sadly. They're in denial. It was, but because it's being so censored, no one wants to know the truth, you know. And censorship is a tool. Censorship is a weapon. Censorship stifles truth and creativity. And the ultimate form of censorship, may I say, is death. Death is the ultimate form of censorship. Because when people are dead, you know, they can't talk for themselves. But it could be a big game changer giving this to kids and untested giving it to kids. I mean, when we look at it. But again, with Fauci and people like that, they're not interested in us asking questions. All they want to do is roll it out, regardless. I realise I'm preaching to the converted here, you know, as we all are. But what I was going to tell you, you know, the fight goes on, and the mandate for liberty must continue. Our objective is to have liberty, the right to ask questions, the right to give answers, and that is precious. After, it's a very English-American thing, I think. When Washington won the war and kicked the British out of America, they published Common Sense by Thomas Paine, and that all went around. And men must be free, men and women must be free, whatever. I believe in a Bill of Rights, and that Bill of Rights should be an inalienable set of rights. Inalienable set of rights that can't be changed by sectional interest or public interest or governmental interest. But this government has no interest in civil liberties at all. They're taking them away one by one, bit by bit. And they're not subtle about it either. They're doing it very, very openly. And what people don't realise is that each new law, like the Police and Criminals Act, whatever it's called, and the Covert Intelligence Act, each law is a precursor for another law, till eventually we have no freedom at all. If this police and crime thing goes through, that'll be the end of the demos. That'll be the end of the demos, you know. And so to take your freedom for granted, I think, can be very, very naive to take your freedom for granted. It's something which is precious. It's something, and as they say, you only realise what you've lost when you've lost it, you know. And I think that's very, very true. So we're making a stand here today. We're making our point. We're coming out for liberty, and everyone here is a hero. Everyone is a hero. Everyone who was battened over the head last year by the heroes and the police is a hero. They're not heroes. We are. We're protecting liberty. We're doing it. We're not doing it for a wage. We're doing it for an ideal, and that ideal is liberty.